Now time for the 7 things you'll be talking about today. Number 7.
Vice President Kamala Harris has not yet released a detailed policy page on her campaign website. We'll come back to that, I promise you, which led former President Donald Trump's campaign to create and launch a mock platform website for her. The site criticizes Harris on issues like immigration, taxes, and crime, claiming she supports policies that would open borders, raise taxes, and free criminals. You say claiming, I say noting. Tomato. The site highlights issues like border security, taxes, crime, and lays out her history of repeatedly supporting extreme policies. That's it. Okay? That's as simple as it is. You know who could fix all of this? Kamala Harris. By having a single policy laid out at the Democratic National Convention. Again, we'll come back to this.
Number 6.
Almost as if it was a scheme drawn up by a talk show host to show what a disaster diversity, equity, and inclusion policies would be in the world of national security, Sneena Nair, recently appointed as a special assistant at the National Nuclear Security Administration, it advocates for integrating DEI into the nuclear policy of the United States. Ready for this? In order to make sure we are queering nuclear weapons. She claims to be addressing white supremacy in the nuclear field and comically argues for DEI principles and says they're crucial for improving national security and preventing nuclear threats. She also wants to bring in foreign nationals to national security positions, to eliminate racism. Totally insane.
Number 5.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr., an independent presidential candidate, plans to address the nation from Phoenix, Arizona on Friday to discuss his campaign's future with the assumption that he may be ready to endorse former President Donald Trump, the Republican candidate. Now, this announcement comes shortly after his running mate, Nicole Shanahan, expressed support for Kennedy potentially joining a future Trump administration and criticized the Democratic Party for, trying to keep him off the ballot. Yeah, that's right. Oh, and coincidentally, former President Donald Trump is also holding a rally nearby on the same day. And so I wonder what's happening here. Look, this is a good deal for Trump. He needs to make this deal happen. Get it done. Get it done now. That will help him.
Number 4.
The former President Donald Trump held his first outdoor rally since a madman attempted to blow his head off, leaving Trump injured and 1 dead. And, our friends over there at BuzzFeed, the media, mock Donald Trump for hiding behind bulletproof glass, because people are trying to kill him. Yeah. This has not changed the rhetoric of the left or the media, who continue to suggest that he is a racist monster who hates democracy. At the rally, Trump rightly criticized anti-Israel, anti-American, anti-Semitic mobs outside the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, condemning their actions and calling for a 1-year sentence for burning the American flag, which seems to be an unconstitutional thing. I don't think we need that, but he's making the point, the popular point, that people don't like it when people burn the American flag.
Number 3.
The jig is up for the Biden administration as the facts are now out that U.S. job creation is not looking all that great in the Biden-Harris term. It is pretty clear that there's a line happening. Between 2023 and 2024, I believe it was May, according to a revised report by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, 818,000 fewer jobs were created than, quote, previously thought, with average job creation at 174,000, not 242,000, which is a significant number. But they've lied on crime, immigration, inflation, and everything else, so why are we surprised that they're lying about job creation. It's just another thing for them to lie about. Nobody should be shocked about it. They lie. Now there's going to be an interest rate cut, and they're going to claim success on that.
Number 2.
The Ozark Dale County Library in Alabama has been closed for a month, recently reopened after reviewing approximately 8,000 children's and young adult books to ensure compliance with new state guidelines. Okay, good. Right? Okay. Now, the closure followed a year-long controversy over the presence of LGBTQ and other potentially inappropriate content in libraries around the country following degenerates demanding children interact with drag queens and have access to said inappropriate content at their local libraries, and resisting any attempt to say, maybe this is a little too much to have graphic gay sex in the children's section. Now, none of the books in this library had any problems, but the review is good. Don't know if you had to shut down the library for a month, but this is what bureaucrats do. They try to cause as much pain as possible, so you'll know this was really hard for them.
Now, time for the number 1 thing you'll be talking about today.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz gave the greatest speech of all time until tonight, which will then become the greatest speech of all time, because Tim Walz, according to the media, is an honorable man. Tim Walz has that big dad energy that we all want so much from our elected officials. Kamala? No, that's not enough. No. Now it's about the dad in plaid. Do you feel like a schmuck yet? Okay. He gave his acceptance speech to a crowd of Democrat delegates waving signs calling him coach, even though he was an assistant coach, in a speech that was heavy on attacks on President Donald Trump and U.S. Senator J.D. Vance, who he once again dinged for going to Yale, and light on any actual substance. Walz downplayed his military service, reducing it to a simple resume blurb after he was exposed as embellishing his record. He repeated his mind your own damn business line, even though his record shows that he does not believe that for a second, and suggested that the current vice president, Kamala Harris, will bring down costs and fix the problems created by her term as vice president for President Joe Biden without a single policy prescription beyond promises to raise taxes on businesses and end tax cuts. That's it. That's it. That's the only thing I can find that he actually wants to do. So, they want to end current tax cuts, and they say they want to put other tax cuts in place. I don't believe them. I'll just tell you that much because, they lie all the time. So, not much of a surprise. This thing was a good speech, which is what they're going for. It was not anything of substance that you could say, oh, here's their strategy. So you have to look at their record. He's a notorious liar who wanted people locked in their house. He oversaw a school record in Minnesota that is worse than the rest of the country. Yes, it was one of the worst states when it came to learning loss because of how they handled these things. He lied about minding your own damn business. He lied about his military service record. He was an assistant coach, but I guess they couldn't fit that on the signs. And you're supposed to be very impressed that he is joyful, even though it was essentially an angry rant. I thought it was pretty good speech. I thought it was delivered well, but the guy's full of crap. So I have a hard time getting past that part. We'll get past this together, I promise you that, and we will continue talking about what's going on in the world, in Alabama, and beyond right here on The Dale Jackson Show. Let's take a quick time out. We'll be right back.
Get WVNN's Dale Jackson's 7 Things You Should Be Talking About Today right in your email box every morning. Go to yellowhammernews.com and sign up today.